For my third question, I felt that Lederach offers many ideas and metaphors in his work, and these help peace builders sort of capture the moral imagination in their work. And from his ideas, I was wondering what real tools can we extract that can be implemented in our daily efforts to build peace within ourselves, our local communities, and throughout our world. Through Lederach's ideas about the moral imagination, some of them may seem pretty utopian and idealistic, but I think that they really are practical tools that we can extract. And the beauty of Lederach's concepts is that they can be applied at all three of those levels. To begin with, the first tool I found was that Lederach teaches readers how to really be active listeners. And he tells us throughout the book, through his many stories, about meeting with different peace workers and community members in the field. He writes about how he doodles, and he explains that his doodling helps him listen and understand more attentively and watch for the metaphors and images that people use when they talk about their conflict. He says when he's doodling and listening to somebody tell their story, he asks himself several key questions, such as, what does this thing they are describing look and feel like? What is at the heart of the matter? Where is this thing going? What would they like it to go? Or where would they like it to go? What is getting in the way? And how are people, groups, and activities linked? So looking for that relational web. And through his visual interpretation of the conversation, people sometimes can see the conflict from a new perspective. And he says that sometimes they even want to take his drawings and keep them for themselves, these doodles, because he made it clear what was going on from what they're talking about. For Lederach, these doodles help him feel the emotion conveyed in the words and really look for the bigger picture. And from this example, I think as practitioners, we can learn to employ active listening in our techniques and ask key questions that can help better understand the conflict and the relationships involved. The second tool that I found in Lederach's work that was particularly helpful was for peace builders to avoid tunnel vision, getting too focused on one aspect of peace building, and to be open to serendipity in peace building. Lederach defines serendipity as the discovery by accident and sagacity of things we were not in quest of. And by developing peripheral vision, or the ability to take advantage of not readily apparent and unplanned events in peace building, Lederach states that peace builders can make great strides toward their goals in constructive social change. In fact, he asserts that the ability to see and move beyond what is expected is necessary to peace building. So I think that this reminder to avoid being so focused and to look outside, be open to unexpected and unplanned events, and take advantage of them is something that we can all learn. And this leads me into my third tool, and it's based on this need for adaptation and peripheral vision. Lederach is an advocate of being a reflective practitioner. And so because our conflict situations and environments, the situation's constantly changing, it's important for peace builders to understand how to evaluate themselves, how to change course, and fit the role to what is actually going on. Lederach explains that reflective practitioners sustain a curiosity about their work, their purpose, and learning. And such reflective practices can be employed in our daily lives by journaling, note-taking, going back and reviewing, highlighting a few key themes, going to group meetings, and these can be applied to your personal life or a peace building or crisis situation. And finally, the fourth tool that I extracted from Lederach was that he encourages peace builders to think of their work more as a vocation or a calling than just a career. And he promotes a craftsmanship in work. And this is where he talks about being more like an artist. And he proposes that peace builders look outside the typical sort of academic method of conflict resolution and become more interdisciplinary, draw on all creative methods to help transform a conflict. And he explains, we have come to see our work for the social change and peace building too much in the line of an intellectual journey, the cognitive processes of getting the analysis right and developing the techniques that facilitates the management of the change process. And so by incorporating artistic activities within the programs and workshops that we hold, academics could use the creative opportunities to reach outside their comfort zone and help transform a conflict. What's more, within our programs, we should build spaces for relationships to develop. Lederach says that he spends a lot of time with his peace building work over tea or coffee, really talking and understanding and getting to know somebody and building the relationship, understanding the conflict better. And so we could build that into our programs and events. So these type of spaces, both downtime in a program to get to know somebody, build relationships, and also more artistic programming where you do something creative. Maybe it's giving everybody time, teaching them about haiku poetry and giving them time to write haikus, or participating in a volunteer service together, or painting a mural in a children's hospital. Something that you could do creative that could enact the moral imagination